Hello, I'm David Bannister. I'm editor of Banking Technology magazine. I'm at the Payments International Show in London. And with me is Jerry Norton, who's Vice President of Financial Services at CGI. Now, Jerry, you and I have been to a couple of these shows. It seems a lot of buzz this year, and one particular one is about the real-time payments, faster payments, instant payments, whatever you want to call it. You've been involved in some of those around the world. It's all happening now, isn't it?
Yes, it's been, like all these things, it's been a bit of a slow burn, but it's definitely true that there's a wave forming. What with, the UK has done it for 6 years, as I'm sure you're aware, faster payments, now doing 1 billion transactions a year with £1 trillion worth of value, but lots of other countries outside of the Eurozone or just on the periphery of the Eurozone, and now the Eurozone itself are interested, as well as further afield, the US, Canada and Australia, of course.
But they're not being wise enough to take the example of the UK and follow it exactly. There's all sorts of differential.
Yes, and there are lots of different models by which you might achieve this. Whether you clear in real time is probably a given, but whether you settle in real time or you net settle is different by each country, jurisdiction. Also, what the model, whether you're pushing credits or pulling debits, whether you're got a request to pay model, that is different in each country. So everybody's looking at it slightly differently, as always.
Does that have any kind of implications from a global level?
Yeah, I think we've got a fantastic opportunity as an industry to create, it's a clean sheet of paper almost, and if we could standardise on some of the interfaces, on some of the messages, on some of the way these things are done, then that would save everybody one heck of a lot of work and a lot of issues downstream. If you look at it, we've been wrestling with a number of these issues for many years about incompatibility, the costs, the STP rates, which has all been about the fact that the evolution of the existing payment systems have differed and have gone at different rates around the world. So if we're all at the same point, or nearly at the same point, let's get some standards in first, and then actually that will benefit everybody. Are
you actually optimistic that would happen?
Yes, I am, because for those countries which have yet to actually start the implementation, are still at the the feasibility stage, effectively the business case stage, which includes the US, for instance, and includes the Eurozone, then for them to use something that's already been prepared saves them some time and effort. It also, more importantly, the banks who are going to connect to that, it'll make it much easier for them. And of course, vendors who are selling bits of software and service to those banks will make it easier for them. So I think there's a number of people who would be relieved if we actually as an industry, came up with a set of standards to help them do it. Yes.
So within Europe, you're seeing the developments there, and the ECB's making efforts. That will instantly mean cross-border payments. Will mean cross-border instant payments.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a second issue, yes. With obviously intra-Eurozone, it looks as if there's going to be multiple vendors or suppliers of the payments, of an instant payment solution. That's what the ECB is implying. But of course, then the issue is how would, for instance, the UK connect to that? How, for instance, will Sweden or indeed Poland connect to it? So one would like to think that there was actually a way of connecting those together so you get interoperability between these across Europe would be fantastic. I don't think that's has to be mandated. I think that's in the competitive space, and I think you'll see people doing that, either countries doing it or possibly banks acting as a bridge and then offering that as a service to their customers, whether corporates or consumers.
So in a sense, a new role for the correspondent banking system.
Yeah, absolutely. If we could have real instant payments across multiple countries, across multiple currencies, then that would be fantastic. Of course it would be. And that would be the vision that I would like to put forward, yeah, of course.
And how far away is that vision?
Well, I don't think it's that far, because if you've got, say on the periphery of the Eurozone, you've already got a number of countries got one, Denmark, Poland, Sweden, UK. If you get one in Europe, or sorry, within the Eurozone, which is slated for 2018, then actually, bang, you could connect them after that, couldn't you? Now, some of those are using slightly different message standards, but the newer ones are using ISO 20022. Sure, not necessarily quite the same version, but anyway, it's feasible. It is feasible. So yes, I promote that.
Optimistic, and on the timescales as well. That's interesting. Yeah. I'll ask you again next year then.
Okay, done. Same place,
same place.
Exactly.
All right. For now, thanks very much,
yeah,
Jerry.
Thank you, David.
Cheers.